What's up, everybody? Apollo, down, down, up, up, and it's time for another Christmas movie review, and we're doing a special one right here. So glad I had time for this today. By the way, this is the second review of day 3. If you have not seen the first one, it's up on my channel, SpongeBob Christmas, and there's also a link to the SpongeBob Christmas special, so you don't want to miss that if you're a SpongeBob fan. But enough about that. Let's talk about the one up for review today. Oh, one of the Christmas carols, baby. And without a doubt, one of my favorites. I consider this the first mainstream original. Charles Dickens, A Christmas Carol with Alastair Sim. Alastair Sim. I am not 100% familiar with the name. Alastair Sim. Gonna go with that. Alastair Sim does an amazing job as Ebenezer Scrooge. And if we all know Christmas, I feel like we all should know the basis of the Christmas Carol, aka Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. It's probably the most mainstream Christmas special ever, because it's been redone so many times into other movies, remakes, sequels even, cartoon specials. The list can go on. A big reason why I love this one, Sim does an amazing job as Scrooge. First off, he doesn't look like he cares about anything during the first part of the movie, until, of course, the spirits visit him, and then he's legitimately terrified. I believe everything he is seeing is just completely ruining his day, aka his night, aka the rest of his life, until, of course, he sees the light at the end. And they show a lot more than what I'm used to seeing in other versions of A Christmas Carol. For example, the focus on Ebenezer Scrooge's sister. This movie does an excellent job showing that off, and also leading to a reason why Scrooge hates his nephew, because his sister died in childbirth, giving life to him. See, I wouldn't have known that watching their shaky relationships in other Christmas carols without finally watching this one, because this is where I first got that information from. The spirits, too, also do an amazing job. Of course, the spirit of Jacob Marley. He is portrayed excellently, and at first I didn't think much of him when I see this, because he sounds very droll, very dead, so to speak. But then when he is on Ebenezer's case about why he should care about what he's doing, the scream is terrifying. I believe Scrooge is just completely terrified when he hears that scream. And Marley is like laying it on the line. One of the best impersonations of Marley I've ever seen. And then there's the ghost of Christmas Past, who in this movie is portrayed by a man, an elderly man. That was the stereotype before. I think it was the second Christmas Carol I've watched that mainstreamed it as a woman. And since then, most of the specials I've seen, it's either a woman or a girl playing the ghost of Christmas Past. Not in this case. The sequences of his past are done really well. I love the actor who plays Scrooge in the past. He looks so familiar and sounds so familiar to me. I feel like he is a reincarnation of Colin Clive, aka Henry Frankenstein. But obviously it's not the case, because different time period. It just looks and believes so well. Showing him how he went from the honest life, so to speak, the kind life, to the life towards greed and money, etc. Meeting Jacob Marley, quitting Fezziwigs to go work for a higher company where he would succeed more, and then finally taking over the business as a whole, seeing Jacob Marley on his deathbed. For a movie that's only about an hour and a half, they do an excellent job with the time showing Scrooge's past. And I think it's safe to say this movie is my favorite Christmas Carol for showing Scrooge's past. No other movie has done a better job with that. None. Showing Scrooge's past and what has led him to this point in time where he is just a bastard, so to speak, towards his fellow man. And then the ghost of Christmas Present, it's the same stereotype. It's a jolly man with a large beard and a robe, done excellently in this. But if you've seen this movie, that terrifying laugh before you see him, it's terrifying. I wasn't expecting the ghost of Christmas Present to have that laugh. I'm expecting a jolly laugh. It's like a sinister, evil laugh. It's totally out of nowhere for me. but not that it ruins the movie. I have very little criticism for this movie. Shown in the present, one thing I do like, they focus more on Ebenezer's love life back in the past. In this case, her name is given Alice. I know her more as, I think Belle is the name I've heard the most for his love before money. In this case, it's Alice. They show Alice during Scrooge's journey with the Ghost of Christmas Present, I believe working in some kind of poorhouse. I like that they finally give a look at what happens to Scrooge's love life, because that's another thing that I have not seen in any of the other Christmas movies focused on the Christmas Carol. What happened to Belle? What happened to Alice? What happened to Scrooge's love life that he left for money? What happened to her? In this case, it actually shows it. It's just a nice touch. Small details are what do it for me in this one. And then, ironically, just another thing, usually it would be at this point where it would be the Ghost of Christmas Present showing Scrooge how things look around him, for example, towards Bob Cratchit and his family, who are all portrayed excellently, especially Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim looks like the boy who played Charlie in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the original one. I don't know if it is, but it just looks like him to me. There's just so many good characters. I'm sorry I have to keep going off topic because this is a movie I can passionately discuss for probably hours. Going back to the Ghost of Christmas Present's journey, usually it'd be this time where Scrooge would see the error in his ways, but not this case. He is seeing the terrible things that have happened in the past, what he's been doing in the past and the present, but usually it would be the time to repent. He doesn't quite do that here. And then it takes a disturbing level where at the end of the visit of the Ghost of Christmas Present, he opens his robe to reveal two poor, bruised children at his feet. I believe he refers to Greed. Oh, I forget the name of the other one, but one of them was called Greed. It's a very disturbing scene for something that, in my opinion, goes far and beyond. And this movie, I'm pretty sure this was 51. Yeah, this is only 1951. I have the colorized version. I'm actually not even sure if this is the full film because there's so many cuts that make me believe that there's more to this. Maybe I'll look into this more, but I have the colorized version of this movie, which is about an hour and a half. And then finally, the Ghost of Christmas Present. Oh, excuse me, the future. You know what I'm trying to say. The tongue, however, does not cooperate with the brain, as I complain just about every video referring to it. So finally we get to the Ghost of Christmas Future, and this is the shot I've been waiting for. One Christmas special that I've watched had the Ghost of the Future stop Scrooge with his hand, and all you see is the bony, frail hand. This is the movie that has the original scene, so when I saw that for the first time, I was like, yes! This is it. It's terrifying. He does not speak. You do see his face simply because you can see through his robe a few times in the movies, but that doesn't really spoil it. Does a fantastic job. A lot of other things I'm going to forget to highlight. For example, Scrooge at the end when he's finally seeing the light. He's acting like a madman. He scares his maid. And then finally giving her the reward and some kind of condolences like, I'm not mad. Have a Christmas present on me. A different tone, though. I'm used to Christmas movies. Scrooge with Bob Cratchit on Christmas Day with his family having the turkey. This doesn't have that, actually. And I'm gonna level with you. I like what they did in this movie better because it had a better tone to it. He does send over the turkey or the duck. I'm pretty sure it was a turkey. Actually, no, I'm forgetting now. It might have just been a duck. Either way, he sends over a large bird to the Cratchits. He doesn't reveal who sent it, and we leave it at that. He goes to the party his nephew offered him to come to for dinner, and it is so heartwarming for him to come in, be accepted by his nephew's wife. They dance. It's so adorable. And that's how he spends Christmas. He spends it with the little real family that he has left. And then it's the next day he reveals to Cratchit he's giving him a raise. put some more coal in the fire, etc. I'm a nice guy. It cuts at the end with him walking through the town. There's a really nice shot of him giving money to a blind man and patting the dog, where at the beginning of the movie, he walks towards him and the dog pulls the blind man away in complete fear. It's nice to see the little details they have about what changed when he changed during the movie. And at the end, he celebrates with Tiny Tim. They do a little dance and the movie ends. It didn't need to all be about what they show from him and the Cratchits and Tiny Tim to make me love this movie as a whole. And again, a few more small details I'm just going to keep forgetting that I love about this movie. The Undertaker in the movie, he looks like Dr. Pretorius from Bride of Frankenstein. I'm throwing that out there. There's so many little references in this movie that I'm catching that make me love this movie even more. It's tough. It's really tough to say which one of the Christmas carols, mainstream Christmas carols that is my favorite. But, oh, this one. You cannot go wrong with what I call to be the original. The original mainstream Scrooge, for me, is this movie. It is fantastic. I highly recommend you watching this holiday season. If you even have time for just one, you can't go wrong with this one. It's classic. It's beautifully done. And that's really all I have to say. Oh, that felt so good to talk about. You guys have no idea how much I'm enjoying these reviews right now. I think this is probably the longest one so far, but that's because this movie is one I have a lot of passion for from the past, what it did that I recognize in the others, what it did differently. Amazing. Amazing. I hope I have time for one more review today, but if I don't, I put in the work with this one. Great movie. 10 out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10 for me. Have a great day, everybody. If I don't see you later today, I will see you tomorrow for more. Keep it real.